We never fought in Zana forces, and I think also in Zipra forces. We never fought in Zana forces, and I think also in Zipra forces, as generals. We fought as commanders and cadres and comrades. Hatina mageneral atati kugonda, but general anouya after the war. And a lot of the people who were fighting vakaramba kupinda muarmy, vapedza hondo vakatapedza basa redu, vakaendawo. Some of us we just went to other lives. So the fact that they may be generals today has no particular bearing about the performance of somebody in the war. It's to do about the Zimbabwe Defense and its professional army. But some people were not clustered around a certain individuals at a particular time. Want to elevate those people. Kuti vanzi vamagamba kupfuura vamwe. No. I had to disabuse during one of the interviews here in the Friday drinks about trying to elevate certain comrades from the war above others. Hakuna akanga ari comrade kupfuura vamwe kuhondo. Tata yangu takura futi 1-1. Indakanga tichigwade yangu ndiri 1-1. Saka handina munhu wandinoona sunga agamba kupfuura kwa zvandakaita ini. And handimbozoona ndiri gamba kupfuura zvakaita vamwe vapenyu kana vakafa. We just fought together.
DSK tinogona kumudzikamisa publicly futi.
Of which, on the other hand, what Zimbabweans don't realize or don't see is now out. How many times have people here discussed the pros and cons of CAP 3? Now Rutendo is claiming to be the one who is seeing my fault lines in CAP 3. How are they going to be? How is it going to negatively impact on the president? I think for me myself, I remember on one space and the good thing for Mnangagwa to do to this CAP 3 is not to sign it, because Tagre, if he becomes president, he's going to sideline Auxilia Nevanawaki. And I remember mentioning there is a problem now.
We've been saying all of these things in spaces day and night, but when somebody claims I'm the one, what can we do?
Let me just finish, then I'll end. Now I'm losing my train of thought. I remember when I mentioned pakati that audio yakabuda ichinzi Auxilia arikutouza vana Tagwere kuti Mnangagwa arikurwara akupenga ane dementia, so you guys have to be quick before chadi togona kutangirwa. So I said there is a problem in the presidium already. The wife of the president is working against the husband and the president. Already there is something particular problem. If we cannot see a problem, the first lady akutoshanda against murume wake. People were saying this, but now Rutendo comes here because Anzwa Makuwa, and he claims to be someone who is super intelligent or whatever he is, of which is all bullshit. Moon arungeta thrive on Makuwa. Anongotora Makuwa from one person to the other. Akanzwa Makuwa anofunga kuti maZimbabweans atisatira kumaziva Makuwa yo akumhanya akutaura as if Anzwa Makuwa. Vese vanhu havana Makuwa.
I've been here with this individual. We've done this, for a minute. Can I keep on, trusting, this person? Can I keep on, lending my support, this person? Or I need, to be looking in elsewhere for, for this aspect, in leadership. But for as long as we continue to be swayed by crowd psychology, co-opposition, we are forever going to be in my trenches atiri and not find a solution to our problems, because the people that we are looking up to, they are not cut out to be providing a solution that can get us to the next stage. Because populism and popularity is something that any individual can garner. I can tell you my life history. Because even when I was in school, ask those that went to the central school that I was at. They would know good even if it is volunteering, for a debate, I would volunteer. You understand? But that is not to say good I'm a leader. I would even volunteer to do my task, but that is not to say good I'm a leader. But maybe or to carry a favor and a teacher, but when it comes to aspect of leadership, that notion of leadership Yet no expect this is the leadership that takes us from one point, to the other. Some of us, even though we are putting ourselves in the forefront, we do not have what it takes to put us, to the next, level. So what I am saying is, we need to be very careful, and we need to be people who understand that the aspect of leadership. A leader with a servant leader. What is there are different types of leadership styles. That one, can come up. You can be a transactional leader. You can be, transformational leader. You can be, let's just say you can be, democratic. You can be every notion of a leadership, style, that, you can think of. But when it comes to some of these things, we really need, to take a step back and look at the people that are right there in the forefront and start to scrutinize them in terms of what they can give us and what they can offer us, as a people, and decide whether these are the right people that, deserve our support, and these are the people that can take us, to the next, level. But isusu manje tinongodhila nekuti munhu just because aita popularity and you think what is the other person, is a leader. No, that is not, that is not that. That is the point, that I'm trying, to raise in Ngumkoma. I do not have
I
a
understand.
solution. I do not have any suggestion. All right, going on forward, who can be, the best person, to lead us. But I am just putting a caution, in the wind to say, when it comes to aspect, it goes way beyond the aspect that a person is popular. Popularity does not equate to an effective leader.
I understand the concept of collectivism, that even if we can become become collective, but at the end of the day, out of that collective, we have our representatives. That is unavoidable. And now, to measure the qualities of a good leader right from the beginning, it becomes so difficult. It can be immensely difficult to determine that this one is the correct leader, or this one is the right leader, or this one is not the right leader. Why am I saying so? In a situation whereby, for example, in this case of Rutend, that he was educating people about the pros and cons of this Cab 3, that people, now that they were rallying behind him, acknowledging that what he's saying is very correct. He gained many followers. That now that the opponent has offered him a financial reward or a fringe benefit in form of a car, that's when now Rutend was supposed to stand tall and decline that offer. That on its own was going to define Rutend as what a principled leader. That us ourselves as a general populace, that we are believing in the principle of what a collectivism. We were only going to see that happening in Rutend, following what the group is saying, by declining that what these guys are now offering him, to silence him, so that he cannot turn down his followers. This was going to define Rutendo's what sustained, it's a position of leadership. But now that has been attracted to the offer that has been given, it shows that right from the beginning, he knew that people are the ones who are having power. The general popular people whom we are undermining are the ones who are having power. So he used us to fight his struggles, and he has now achieved what he intended to achieve. Now he dump us and say, guys, I do not owe you any explanation. Yet you came to us on social media to mobilize us, to give you strength, so that your opponent will realize that you are fighting. It was because of us.
Don't point
The power that you got from us.
not everyone who comes to you is a leader. You understand? Not everyone who puts himself, out there in a position that you might say is being a leader is a leader. Sakana munhu iye
So
achinge azotidisappointa, we now start, to cry, to say good, but iwe wakauya, but But imwe yakauya imimi achikurakidza iye nhingi what is all about. But imimi ndimakambategi yanhingi isingambodiseva nhingi paari. You gave the tag. It's not good as he said, good, I'm coming here as your leader. So when he disappoints, you guys, you get into a meltdown. You're going into a meltdown for no reason. You understand? Because this person did not give you a reason for you to want to say, Budizo, you are a leader. So you are portioning a responsibility onto somebody, and that person, right there, has not been measured enough. Could determine could this person can become, a leader. So that is, this is what, I am talking about. I can come here and, talk to you in any flower, language, that you can think of. I can, come here and tell you stuff in a language, that can make you, melt. Or if I want to be, on the other side, achieve an orgasm. But that does not necessarily mean I'm a leader. I am not. But in Mimika, the moment that you want to put me in that position, and yet I do not have the qualities to be performing at that level, the fault is not on me. The fault is on you. Andemurwana. Ndoba badezi ngindako takumtukirira, takumita say. Because tamuwa position is yake. And that is the tragedy that we are having as the Zimbabwean people. Trust me, my brother. I've been on social media for a minute. Right? I've been right there. I've led my initiatives. I can wonder. Sometimes, no, this responsibility. Don't tell me there is this responsibility. I said. We cannot achieve, this. We cannot, do this. We cannot, do that. But because we were the voice in the community, we were the voice that was bringing, people, together, right? And people would say, just because you guys, you are speaking, this language, so you deserve, to be our leaders. No, it doesn't work, like that. I have got where I can go, and there's a point that I cannot go. And no more. So I think the point and look at I when Rutendo, came in, vocal as he is, excellent in articulating, his position and stating, things as they are supposed, to be stated, and giving you a narrative in a way that you can see, and you can put a paper trail to say what he is very good at that, and that is his job. But that doesn't necessarily mean Kutizo, you can elevate that individual to be your leader. Because ndobanova hate, heartache yenyu, ndobanova disappointment yenyu, ndobanova imimi kurwadziwa kwenyu, because you are putting a person in a position yasingafanira ari.
To be honest with you, Uncle Jeff, when I was following his utterances, like when he was talking for about 10 minutes, I was trying to synthesize. I was trying to synthesize what he was saying, closely analyzing his facts, which he did not even disclose earlier. Remember, he was saying that, if I'm not mistaken, I heard something which he mentioned, like, I was paid 100,000 to fight what the
yes, the Gaza revolution, yes.
That from that.
So does that make him a leader, though?
I could dismiss him that this one is not a lead. So he was, that on its own told me that you were right from the beginning. This war, he was fighting it with his personal interest.
And a PR guy. Because Rutendo is a PR guy. And don't mistake him, for anything. I mean, Rutendo is good at PR.
There is somebody who asked him that, Rutendo, when you were doing this, were you doing this with the intention of saving people of Zimbabwe, or you were having your business perspective when you're approaching this? Then he said, no, I was just doing it to save people. But how come now? Because if you were saving people, you don't deny your people. You don't say, I'm no longer owing you any explanation. You need to come back to your people. That guys, this is what I'm now coming across. These people, they are
Okay,
now
when he was
wanting things to
fighting,
me.
okay, can I ask you a question? When he was putting up whatever it is that he was putting in fight of fighting Geza, was there ever any communication? You could a leader is made here to fight Geza.
Nothing. It was hidden.
He said because of what he knows best and what he does best, he said, I can fight this. I can do this. Yes, I'm not discounting the fact that kuti kune vanhu vanozomutera vachimutera vachilisten to what say. But I am talking about the aspect yekuti he did not put himself out there with I am a leader, but he put on the jacket yeupr hwake and what he knows best as an individual who's coming from a marketing perspective, and then which he turned around into something you weaponize that yekuti anokwanisa kukutengesera chinhu chiri kubhuruka shiri iri kubhuruka kuti uri kuona shiri iyo ishiri yako iyo shiri iyo uri kuiona. That is your bed. Whether you're going to that bed is going to land in your hand, or it is never going to be landing in your in both of your hands. That is an entirely different ball game. Because basarake yatopedza. For him, it is all about convincing you to say what is. But does that make him a leader?
No, he is not a leader. We
Yes.
did not see all this. He did not disclose all these traits from the beginning.
Yes.
Otherwise, we read and see that this is his business. This is how he's getting man.
So Rutendo, ladies and gentlemen.
He did disclose all these traits. People are not paying attention.
Yes. Rutendo is good at his craft. Rutendo, I don't know. I don't know how he works well as part of a team. I don't know how he works well as part of a team, but he showed you what he's capable of doing. So whether you want to take him as a leader or not, but I am just pointing to the fact yekuti munhu anokuratidzai his expertise. Anomonzwa zvakafanana nini my journey anditi after ndapedza chikoro my journey ndakaita automotive engineering. Ndakuassemblera painjini yeMazda ndaipadagura ndoita and put together. But what am I doing? I am utilizing my knowledge because of my experience nokudzidza chinhu. But could I be an individual and once I go run a factory as a foreman or as a manager? No, I couldn't do that. Even though I knew how to do my job very well. That did not translate me to be a leader. And ndikasiya izvozvo ndikaita zvandoita I became I became an educationist anditi with my maths and stuff like that. Ndikaziva kuti maproblems anosolvwa so because I help my students vanenge vaine madissertations vada kuita chichi vadaita statistical analysis. I can help in that because I'm tapping into the knowledge that I've garnered throughout the years. But does that necessarily mean I'm a leader? I'm not a leader. I'm just a person who has got the expert knowledge in the things in the field. And I can tackle this, I can tackle this, I can tackle this. But I cannot then say automatically I'm a leader. I'm not a leader.
Uncle Jed, like what we are saying. Well, if maybe I come to you with my dissertation,
Yes.
I got a certain
Yes.
Maybe I want you to do something for me. Maybe let's say I want you to educate me on how to use Atlas IEs to do the coding and so on. And then you said, myself, I know about this.
Yeah.
And for sure, when you're teaching me, I'm understanding that the way you're articulating things, they are very clear because of your expert power.
But I'm not a
That's
leader.
where we see that now.
But I won't become a
You are
leader.
the one who is leading that
No.
at that particular moment.
No. The leadership aspect, that the leadership aspect, that I'm talking about is different from what you're talking about. Being knowledgeable and being an expert, right? You might say, good, I can be put to say, good, can you lead, this team? But in the aspect of the leadership that we're talking about, I am far removed, from that.
Oh, all right.
Yes,
Okay.
I am far removed, from that. I can be knowledgeable in terms of articulating things. I can be knowledgeable in terms of saying, good, but when it comes to leadership, because leadership is not all about, the expertise, but it is all about relations. There is a relational aspect to leadership, which most people overlook, and that is quite, important. Relational. When I'm saying relational, it speaks about how you relate to others, how you speak to others, how you motivate others. You understand? But if it is, if leadership was solely based on expertise, I would tell you my leaders. Even my my leaders, because one expertise is hure.
Look at what you are saying, Uncle Jade. There's an element of contradiction in what you may be saying, or maybe I'm failing to grasp you well. That relational
Aspect,
leadership that
yes.
we are talking
Yeah.
about, that there are certain things. For example, if you are having expert power, you are somebody who is knowledgeable in a particular field, you'll be able to create a positive relations with somebody whom you are imparting knowledge to, that
Goma.
eventually that particular person, you will be having good relationship.
I differ.
Trust
I
me.
differ. I differ. Baba mkoma idifa mkoma chinonzi relational leadership mukoma achisi kutamba nacho hachisi chekutamba nacho mukoma mukoma chinonzi relationship chakaoma.
Right. Saka manje,
yourself, you are in a realm of you got excited. It's not you didn't look at the qualities. You just got excited.
the way the excitement is being derived from.
Yeah,
From the way
that's the problem. Because you see, even on spaces here, there were people who were arguing with guys. Be careful with this person. I think you were just listening to one person, not other contributions.
there's this time when he was given the platform to talk, I listened to him. I could hear what this guy, what he's saying. He misled us.
But
We're completely misled.
How did he do that? I mean, let us go, with the reason. How did he do that?
From the beginning, when we were opposing that, all those things which he was opposing, we thought that maybe he's taking us to the right direction because was rich with information, and the information that we were seeking, but we could not find it. These are the things that made us to believe that this guy can be the proper person who may want to change the direction of the wind.
Right.
Yet, he was having his own personal agenda.
Right.
This is how we got it wrong.
And then let us go to the aspect of relational leadership. How do you connect, with people? Because you can never be at level par with people if you starve them of the information that they need. You can never be at level par with people if you're not compassionate, if you're not, sympathetic, if you're not an individual that can actually communicate, things. Right now, you are speaking, Kotizo, there are things that he did not communicate. But how then do you measure a leader in their leadership, position, if a leader is starving you of the information that you need.
That
You're dealing with a devious individual. Because inini mukoma inini ndikauya panapa inini ndikatadza kukupai information ndaopen a space inini handiti ndapa introduction yangu ndosaka ndichiita introduction yangu iri 30 minutes plus, because I want to impart all the information that I have, so that you become an informed people. Kuitira kuti kana muchinge makuita debate, you are debating from a position of know-how, from a position of knowledge, kuti muri kuziva. Saka inini, if I starve you of the information that is necessary for you to engage with the topic, ndinenge ndaita sei ndinenge ndaita sei as an individual. Mukoma, the technical aspect of things, we can all go along that line. Tese panapa imini even ku field kwenyu kwa muri, I don't know which field you are in, but you can have the technical know-how, but if you lack on the relational part of things, apana chamunobvisa munhu mukoma, apana. Even though you try to, articulate the things that they're supposed to be articulated, but if you lack on the relational aspect of things, mkoma apana chamunondidzidzisa imimi. Ndinozokuvenga yekuti ada kuonererwa anozvanganoziya stere.
Uncle Jets, to put or to set the record straight, since Retento started to parade over this thing of opposing ZANU-PF, how many of you guys who are having these social spaces who hosted him, saying whatever he was saying, and even the people who were the audiences were even just going to sleep and say, at least there is something that is happening, there is something positive unfolding. Nearly all of us.
But in bed, talk for yourself, don't talk for other people.
The tragedy.
That's what I'm saying.
No.
I'm just giving an estimate of people who were so convinced, who even believed in what I was saying.
No. Did you carry out the survey? Did you measure them? Did you carry out the survey to actually say good is one hour? The point and ways of Mukoma, maybe I'm talking too much. Maybe I am.
You are doing very well. Yeah. You are trying to make me understand.
Yeah. But the problem, Mugona, the problem at I am Koma. I don't know how best I can put this. When you Rutendo is a media person. He's a PR guy. Right? He always finds information that he needs to articulate very well. You understand? Because he has got a story to tell you and a story to sell to you. Rutendo is selling a product, even though it is not a tangible product, but he's selling a product. And the person who sells the product, he tells you everything that you need to know about that product.
Exactly.
You understand? Kugupai, down to the nitty-gritty